Yeah, what's up, guys? So I'm on deployment right now. Kind of bored, so I figured I'd just make a quick informational video on land navigation. Fortunately, I don't have a military map on me, but I've always found that talking to people about their tips and tricks about how they do land nav has helped me the best. You can obviously Google how to do it, figure it out on your own, but I figured I'd just try to pass on some of my tips and tricks that have helped me be really successful at land navigation. So I kind of just go over the things that I always carry with me whenever I'm doing land nav. First things first is just a compass, and I bought this myself. I keep it in a little grenade pouch on my IOTV, that way I always have it on me no matter what. One thing I did to kind of modify this or enhance it is I put loom tape on the back, and the reason I did that is if you're ever doing land nav at night, you're really trying to keep your light discipline down. You can use like a red lamp flashlight or a headlamp. That's perfectly fine. But if I ever want to like write grid coordinates down on this, and I'm trying to keep my light discipline down, I can just hold my light over this, and I can just read the grid coordinates that I've written down with my map marker. Another thing I always keep in like my leader's book is protractor. This isn't like one of the nice ones, but because this has like a little piece of plastic right up against the lines, that could throw you off. So I always suggest getting like a laser cut one that's like right up against the line. Always keep pencil if I'm using a paper map, and then map markers if I'm using a laminated map. I also keep Purell. The reason I do that is if I'm writing on a laminated map with my map markers and I make a mistake, or I'm trying to redo it, you can just use the Purell and it'll just take that ink right off. So let me just go over some of the basics of land nav. So these are the major and minor terrain features. Major terrain features are hill, valley, ridge, saddle, and depression. And if you haven't heard the mnemonic way to remember this, it's Hidden Valley Ranch salad dressing. That's an easy way to remember it. And then you got your minor terrain features, which is spur, cliff, draw, cut, and fill. And I'm not going to go in depth on those because you can go figure out what those are. They're pretty easy. The other things to know on a map, also whenever in the grid lines, so you want to read right now. The other thing you need to know is in the bottom there's like a declination constant. So you'll have like a vertical line, and then you have like another line coming off of it. The reason that's on a map is because there's a difference between grid north and magnetic north. And what you have to do when you calculate your grid azimuth is you have to convert it to a magnetic azimuth. That way you can shoot it with your compass. So when you do land nav, you're going to get like your starting point, and then you're going to get grid coordinates to where all your other points are, right? And then once you get to those points, you're either going to have to like clip your sheet or write the number down. I've done ones where they have like it's like a stencil, and you have to like shade it on your paper for whatever point you're at. All different kinds of land nav points or land nav courses, but most important thing I think is just making sure you double check your work, because if you've ever done a land nav course where you do it like with a buddy and you're trusting on them and they say, yeah, I'm perfectly confident doing land nav, and they plot the first point wrong and you're searching for it for an hour and you waste all that time, that is a big lesson that I've learned. Always double check behind people. So when you get your points, you're going to plot them. The way I do it is I find the closest point for first, just to kind of make sure I get off on the right foot. And then what I'll do is I'll get my azimuth to that point, and then I'll just do my azimuth to all the next points, and I'll kind of just go in a loop. If you can do that, some courses aren't always like that, but if you can make a loop, come up with a route and determine your azimuth from start point to that first point, and so on and so forth, that'll save you a lot of time. So I always recommend doing that. There's also different ways that you're going to be taught how to do land nav. So once you calculate that magnetic azimuth, they're going to teach you the cheat code with your compass. So all that is, you got your compass, you know where your azimuth is, you put it up to your cheek, you're looking through, and you're just basically shooting your azimuth at in that direction, and you're going to follow that direction. They'll tell you to get your pace count, stop every 100 meters, and double check your azimuth. That's kind of like the basic training way to do it. The way I do it is dead reckoning. So when you're looking at a map, let's say you have a hill and there's a point on the southwest side of that hill, and there's not a lot of hills out there, but you can see it off in the distance. You pretty much know your point is right at the base of that hill. So what I'll do is I'll just kind of like make notes, southwest corner of the hill. I will calculate my azimuths just in case something does happen, like there's something in the way that I didn't see on the map and I have to backtrack. But dead reckoning is my preferred way to do it because it just makes it a lot quicker. You're looking for the southwest base of that hill, you can basically run to that southwest corner of that hill, find your point, on to the next one. Let's see, when you're doing night land nav, you obviously can't really use dead reckoning as much because, especially if you're doing it out in the woods, you don't really have a lot of visible terrain features or things that you can look at. So another technique you can use if you're doing a land nav course that has tank trails, you can handrail, which they might discourage you to do. They might tell you can't do that. If they do tell you that you can do it, I definitely encourage handrailing. All that means is you're staying like 10 to 15 meters off of a road or tank trail, and you're kind of just following it. So it's important to be able to identify those on your map, and that way you can kind of make a route. Say, okay, it's 500 meters right down this road, kind of 50 meters off. That way you get your pace count. You kind of track how far you're going, and once you hit that 500 meter on your pace count, you should be able to turn and find that point really easily. I know I'm missing a lot of stuff, but if there's any questions that you have about land nav, then just go ahead and comment it, and I'll either make other videos in the future or I'll just respond back. Alright, thanks for watching.